I sure like these homeopathic medications. My daughter June had a headache and I bought a homeopathic painkiller for her.
You mean that you gave your 6-year-old daughter that homeopathic junk? How disgusting.
Not disgusting at all. It is practically distilled water. Guaranteed to have no side effects. If I had given her aspirin, she might have developed Reye's syndrome.
Next, you will be promoting religion.
What is wrong with religion?
I side with John Lennon whose song Imagine said, and no religion too.
If religion is so bad for human society, why is religion the cornerstone of all successful human societies? Where are the ancient empires which thrived under atheism? I have to go along with Sir Arthur C. Clarke, who said, "Perhaps the role of humanity on earth is not to worship God, but to create Him. As a sophisticated human, I believe that it is my role to create God and to help fabricate other helpful myths."
Myths? You like myths? I suppose that you believe in man-made global warming as well.
I believe that I should tell everyone that I do. It is another religion which I believe will be helpful in weaning the United States off of foreign oil.
Oh no.
Anyway, myth is good for those who cannot think logically and need to be led by productive myths and fictional narratives. Anyone with half a brain can easily see that the CO2 has gone up dramatically and that the climate has hardly warmed at all. If CO2 was the culprit, we would be living in an oven by now.
So, you basically agree with me that it is mostly a myth and not true to any dangerous extent.
Sure, it is mostly myth. Most likely we are headed for another ice age in the next 30 years. We myth makers have realized this, and as a result we changed the phrase global warming to global climate change.
But my meteorology professor told me that humans are responsible for only 10 to 30% of global warming. The corn crop is up 15% simply because of the human addition of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Isn't that a good thing?
Actually, I agree with you that the addition of CO2 to the atmosphere is a net positive for the plants. It is a green thing to do, since obviously the term green comes from a reference to plants and their green leaves. But please don't tell anyone that I said that. My message must always be that carbon dioxide is a poison, even though I obviously know that it isn't.
Aren't you being two-faced?
Didn't you read The Cat in the Hat to your children? Was the two-faced?
Well, I suppose we have all read fairy tales to our children.
You must admit that children need to be fed myth and that most adults read fiction much more than they read non-fiction.
But why use myth when it comes to the climate?
We need to wean ourselves off of imported fossil fuels and move toward more efficient and sustainable means.
And what would be all that sustainable? Solar cells, I suppose. They are simply too expensive to do anything but bankrupt our country.
For me, it would be nuclear power, of course, but many people in the green movement are still opposed to nuclear power. We have plenty of uranium to carry us well into the age where we use fusion power.
We also have plenty of natural gas to carry us into the age of fission power. Don't tell me that you call natural gas a fossil fuel.
Well, don't tell anyone, but I believe in the non-biological origin of what most people call fossil fuels. We call it abiotic fuel.
Well, that is a relief. I thought that we were never going to agree on anything here.
But if I start to talk about the abiotic origins of oil, gas and coal, it will start arguments which will distract the dialogue from our main goals.
So, you say that we should let people maintain the false impression that somehow dead plants were located 15 miles below the Earth's surface and somehow turned into fossil fuels.
Well,
Should we simply ignore the fact that nobody has ever been able to demonstrate turning dead plants into oil, gas or coal?
Well, some dead leaves have ended up in coal, and that is enough to convince most average citizens.
But we are not average citizens.
That is true, but we need to relate to others who are average citizens, and if we tell them that global warming is a myth and that fossil fuels did not come from fossils, they will think that we are kooks. You simply have to go along with current myths.
I think that you are saying that humans are more social animals than they are intelligent animals.
Yes, precisely. An intelligent child in school is teased as a nerd, and the more social students are more popular. The Facebook website is more popular than lectures on scientific subjects.